When I was young, I believed life was simple. My father had money, so I didn't worry. I didn't study much, I didn't work, and yet I had everything I wanted. If I saw something I liked, I asked my father, and he bought it. My friends warned me to plan for the future, but I laughed. Why should I worry? My father had enough money for all of us. That was enough for me. Every morning I woke up late. I had breakfast in bed, watched TV for hours, and sometimes went out with friends. We ate at the best restaurants, wore expensive clothes, and drove fast cars. Life was fun and easy. I thought it would always be that way. I never thought about money or work or the future. If I wanted to travel, I did. If I wanted new shoes or a new phone, I got the best one. My father paid for everything. I never asked how he made his money. I never thought about how hard he worked. I just enjoyed my life and lived in the moment. One day my father called me. He looked serious. "Sit down," he said. I smiled and said, "Yes, Father." But his face didn't change. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't joking. I started to feel nervous, even though I didn't know why. My father had always been kind. He never said no to me. But something felt different this time. "You're not a child anymore," he said. "You need to think about your future." I laughed. "Father, I have everything I need." He shook his head. "You have everything because I work hard. But life is not always easy. One day things might change." I didn't understand. I thought he was just overthinking. "Don't worry," I said. "Nothing will change." He didn't smile. He just looked at me for a long moment and said, "We'll see." I left the room and went out with my friends, not thinking much about his words. I laughed and spent money like always, not knowing my life was about to change. The next morning I woke up late as usual. I stretched and picked up my phone. My friends had messaged planning to go out. I smiled, got dressed in my best clothes, sprayed some expensive perfume, and went downstairs. But when I entered the living room, my father was waiting. His face was serious. "Sit down," he said. I sighed. "Father, I have plans." He didn't care. He looked straight at me and repeated, "You're not a boy anymore. You must learn about life." I rolled my eyes. "Father, I know about life." He shook his head. "No, you don't." Then he said something unexpected. "Come with me." We walked outside and got into his car. He didn't tell me where we were going. I sat quietly, confused. As he drove, I looked out the window. The city looked different that day. I saw people rushing, cleaning the streets, selling food on the roadside. I had never noticed them before. That day I did. Eventually, my father stopped the car in an old part of the city, a place I had never visited. The buildings were run down. The streets weren't clean. People looked tired. He pointed at a man selling fruit. "Look at him," he said. "He wakes up before dawn and works all day. He doesn't rest. He doesn't complain. He works to feed his family." I stayed quiet. Then he pointed to a small shop. Inside, an elderly woman was sewing clothes. "She's been working for 40 years, he said. "She doesn't have much, but she works hard every day." I looked at her. She seemed tired, but she didn't stop. I had never seen people like this. I had never thought about them. "Do you see now?" my father asked. "Life is not easy for everyone. Some people work hard every single day. But you, my son, have never worked a single day." For the first time in my life I felt small. Something inside me shifted. We got back in the car. My father didn't say a word. Neither did I. My mind was full of the images I had just seen. The fruit seller, the old woman. I had lived in comfort all my life, but now I felt something different. I didn't know what it was. After a while we arrived at his office building. I had been there before, but only to ask for money. He took me inside. Phones were ringing, people were moving fast, papers were everywhere. He looked at me. "Do you know what I do every day?" Shrugged. "You work." "Yes," he replied. "But do you know how hard I work?" I stayed quiet. "I wake up early. I make big decisions. I solve problems. I run this company. And I do it all for you." I looked around. The workers looked tired and focused. Some were on calls, some writing reports. I had never thought about what went on behind the scenes. I only saw the money. Then he handed me a small notebook. "Tomorrow you will work here." I laughed. "Me? Work?" "Yes," he said seriously. "You'll start from the bottom. You'll learn. Because one day I won't be here. And then what will you do?" Had no answer. I had never thought about life without him. The next morning I woke up early for the first time in years. Felt strange. I dressed and went downstairs. My father was waiting and handed me a small lunch bag. "Your lunch," he said. "Lunch? Can't I eat at a restaurant?" I asked. "No. Workers bring their own lunch. And today you're a worker." When we got to the office, he didn't take me to his big room. Instead, he took me to a small office filled with desks. A serious-looking man with glasses approached. "This is Mr. William," my father said. "You'll work under him." Then he left. Mr. William walked fast and didn't smile. He gave me a desk and a chair. "You'll check these papers," he said, placing a huge stack in front of me. "Find the mistakes. Mark them. And work fast." Seemed simple. But an hour later my head hurt. The numbers all looked the same. My eyes were tired. Everyone else around me kept working. No breaks. No small talk. At lunch I opened my bag. It was plain food. No fancy dishes, no drinks. Ate quietly. Everyone else finished quickly and got back to work. I missed my old life, but I also felt something new. Respect. These people worked hard every day. And now I was one of them. By the afternoon my back hurt, my hands ached, and my head was pounding. Mr. William checked my work. "There are mistakes," he said. "Do it again." I sighed but said nothing. I just nodded and started over. When the day ended, I felt exhausted. But something inside me had changed. I had never worked for anything in my life. Now I understood that money didn't come easily. I saw my father waiting outside. He didn't ask how my day was, he just smiled. And for the first time I smiled back. Not because life was easy, but because I had earned that smile. The next day I woke up early again. My body was sore, my hands stiff. I wanted to stay in bed, but I couldn't. I had work to do. My father looked at me and nodded. "Good," he said. Just one word, but it meant everything. It meant he was proud. At the office, Mr. William was waiting. "You were slow yesterday. Today, work faster." I said nothing and got to work. The numbers, the papers, they didn't feel any easier, but I worked through the pain. By noon I finished the task. Mr. William checked it. "Better," he said. One word. But it felt better than buying something expensive. Better than wasting time. Felt real. For the first time in my life, I understood the value of effort. And I never looked back.